I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years. But he suddenly wants to marry a rich girl and asks me to choose a wedding dress. His mother and fiancé humiliate me with 1 million each. Even encouraging people to throw paint on me and call me a mistress. I couldn't take it anymore, so I revealed my true identity as the daughter of the Xie family. And directly caused both families to go bankrupt. Now this scumbag is begging me to take him back? It's too late. All the games he played with me for 10 years. I'll return them double. 1 million. Leave my son, Mrs. He coldly pushed a bank card in front of me. Mrs. Shuki and I are truly in love, not after money. After returning from the cafe, I glanced and saw Shuki lounging on the sofa watching TV. He runs a medium-sized company and rarely comes home this early. I put down my bag, changed my clothes, and washed my hands before sitting beside him. Shuki has a cleanliness obsession, never allowing me to sit on the sofa or bed with my outer clothes on. You're back so early. I dropped off a client at the airport and came straight home. Without looking up, he spoke casually, eyes still glued to the TV screen. By the way, your mom called me half an hour ago to meet at the cafe. My mom? To meet you? What's this about? Shuki looked at me, his face full of surprise. Since we started dating in college, we've been living together for 10 years. But he's never once taken me to meet his family, so I could see why he was shocked. Your mom offered me 1 million to leave you. Did you take it? Suddenly, Shuki leaned toward me, his gaze full of pressure. I said we're in true love, not after money. Before I could finish, Shuki kissed me fiercely. He's always like this. Desire comes and goes, never caring how I feel. After a long while, he finally lay back on the sofa, playing with my messy hair. Xie Shu Wan, remember, you're my woman, and no one is going to take you away from me, not even my mom. Then why aren't you marrying me? I asked, feeling a bit aggrieved, drawing circles on his strong chest. He froze, silent for a long time, before avoiding the question. These 2 wedding dresses, which one do you think looks better? He showed me 2 dresses on his phone, just as I was about to feel happy. Don't get the wrong idea, they're for Song Man Ning. We're getting married. Tears fell uncontrollably, and I looked at him with a heart broken like bleeding. So, after playing with me for 10 years, you're going to marry someone else? But I never said I was going to marry you. You've used me for 10 years too, haven't you? Shuki spoke impatiently, then turned and walked into the bathroom. I just couldn't understand. He had said he loved me for 10 years. But now he was going to marry someone else. The Song family, Song Man Ning, the daughter of Song Enterprises, I'd heard of her. There were rumors that the He and Song families were about to unite. And I had asked Shuki about it before. Each time he laughed it off, telling me it was all lies and I shouldn't believe it. But now, he was calmly asking me to pick out wedding dresses for Song Man Ning. So, what does this 10 years of love mean to him? I couldn't take it anymore, stood up, and rushed to open the bathroom door. Shuki, you're scum. The sudden disturbance made Shuki furious. Xie Shu Wan, are you crazy? Can't you see I'm showering? Get out. He slammed the door I had opened with his foot. Not caring that my hand was still on the doorframe. All 4 of my fingers got caught and bruised. Tears streaming, I went to grab the first aid kit and silently curled up on the sofa. After a while, Shuki, wearing a towel, sat next to me. His hand gently touching my tear-streaked face. Stop being so childish, after all these years. Are you really going to leave me over a Song Man Ning? So, what do you mean? You want to marry Song Man Ning properly, but still want me to continue being your secret mistress? I pushed his hand away, biting my lip, trembling as I looked into his eyes. So what? I don't love her. Marriage in high society is all about interests. You know that. But I don't want to be a secret mistress my whole life. Do you understand? Finally, Shuki lost his patience, stood up with a cold face. Then what do you want? Everyone in Bincheng knows you're my woman. Who else would dare marry you? His cold expression pierced my heart with pain. And a wave of unnameable anger surged from my chest. Slap. I slapped him hard across the face. He froze for a moment, then smiled mockingly. Xie Shu Wan, who do you think you are? An orphaned girl, a poor woman who only finished college through scholarships. If I hadn't given you a luxurious life these past 10 years, do you think you'd be where you are now? Do you even know what true love is? Do you think my parents forced me to marry Song Man Ning because I wanted to? I'll say it again, I don't want to leave you. But I can't marry you. Think about it, don't be so ungrateful. He finished, dressed, and slammed the door as he left. I sat on the sofa, tears falling again. At that moment, I finally understood. Being with me was charity, a need, a habit, never love. Bang bang bang. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. I thought Hishuki had come back and forgotten his keys. But when I opened the door, it was a woman dressed in high-end brands. Song Man Ning. So, you're the woman who's had Hishuki's unwavering love for 10 years, huh? I see you've got some looks. Song Man Ning, wearing 8-inch high heels, looked down at me arrogantly, her eyes full of contempt and disdain. Miss Song, is this your way of marking your territory? Don't worry, I've got no intention of continuing with Hishuki. Song Man Ning was stunned, her eyes full of surprise. Ha, looks like I underestimated you. Since you're so sensible, I can't treat you poorly. Here, 1 million, take it and leave Bincheng. Don't let me see you again. Song Man Ning held out a bank card in front of me, arrogantly. I smiled. It seems like people from wealthy families really don't lack money. First Hishuki, now Song Man Ning, both trying to bribe me with 1 million. I smiled, casually pushing the bank card back. Thank you for the offer, Miss Song, but I don't need it. I'm not so cheap that I'd cling to a man who's about to get married. I thought this would be the last time I'd ever have anything to do with Song Man Ning, but I was wrong. The next morning, just as I was about to head out for work, I'm an assistant at Hishuki's company. I opened the door and saw that the front gate had been splashed with paint. The walls and door covered with abusive words. The mistress of the He family lives here. A mistress who climbs into a rich man's bed to try and rise up never ends well. Punish the immoral marriage trends. Let the mistress have nowhere to hide. I was about to wipe away the words with some wet wipes when a crowd of onlookers gathered around, pointing and gossiping. This woman has been living with Hishuki for so long. Turns out she's a mistress. Hishuki is already engaged to the Song family's daughter. How is she not a mistress? Tisk tisk. What a young girl, not learning right, thinking anyone can marry into a rich family? I was about to defend myself when an unfinished meat bun, oozing oil, hit me in the face. Stinky mistress. You like to eat leftovers from others. Here, have this. Laughter erupted from the crowd, and soon more food scraps and raw eggs were thrown at me. With tears in my eyes, covered in filth, I fled in disgrace. In a corner, I cleaned myself up and finally made it to the office. But as soon as I entered, the receptionist sneered at me. Whoa, who is this? Hishuki's mistress still dares to come to work? As soon as the receptionist spoke, a group of colleagues surrounded me, mocking me coldly. Not to be rude, but when Hishuki wasn't engaged to Song's daughter, her being his mistress wasn't a big deal. But now that they're engaged, she's still hanging around? Yeah, she slept with a rich man for 10 years, so what? In the end, she's just been played with. An orphaned poor girl, doesn't even know her own worth, thinking she can marry into a rich family? Thinking back, everyone at the company knew about my relationship with Hishuki. They used to be all sweet to me, calling me sister and being kind. As soon as the news about Hishuki's engagement to the Song family's daughter broke, their faces changed. I couldn't be bothered to argue with these opportunists and fair-weather friends. So I lowered my head and quickly walked to my office. Out of nowhere, some heartless person secretly stuck out their foot, causing me to trip and fall flat on my face. Then a burst of gleeful laughter rang out, and I couldn't take it anymore. I struggled to stand up and slapped the woman who tripped me right across the face. Ah, she hit me. The mistress hit me. What a cocky mistress. The woman screamed, and a crowd immediately gathered, attacking me with punches. Enough. Go back to work. Fortunately, Hishuki came in from outside and yelled loudly, stopping the commotion. He pulled me into his office, sat in his chair, and looked at me coldly. Slapping a colleague in the office. Xie Shu Wan, is this what you find interesting? You don't even ask what happened, and you're already accusing me? I gritted my teeth, standing there, still covered in dirt, looking at him. Hishuki sat silently, lit a cigarette in frustration. The paint and abusive words outside my house, and these women in the office throwing me under the bus. You don't know who's behind it? You're not planning to do anything about it, are you? All right, even if it was Song Man Ning who hired people to do this. Why should you stoop to her level? Hishuki snuffed out the cigarette angrily and looked at me with a furrowed brow. I'll call Song Man Ning and tell her to stop making a fuss. Now go back to work. No, I want a clarification, an apology. I want you to tell everyone I'm not a mistress. His gaze instantly turned cold. Xie Shu Wan, what do you actually want? For something so trivial, with my status, You want me to clarify and apologize for you? Do I have no dignity? Or do you still want to make Song Man Ning hate you more? Let me remind you, don't be so ungrateful. His eyes were full of suppressed anger, his teeth grinding, as if I had done something to offend him. But clearly, it was him who allowed Song Man Ning to slander and defame me. I just wanted him, the person involved, to help clear things up and apologize. Was that too much to ask? At that moment, my heart shattered completely. All the grievances, the repressed anger, everything suddenly calmed down. I stared at his frantic face, and suddenly, I laughed. Fine, if you won't clarify or apologize, I'll do it myself. With that, I turned to leave, and Hishuki seemed to realize something, yelling after me. Xie Shu Wan, you better know what you're doing, don't come crawling back later when you can't clean up the mess. I slammed the door to the CEO's office behind me, walking out without looking back. I took a taxi back to the home I'd shared with him for 10 years. And looking at everything so familiar, tears fell. Every tree, every detail in this house, was something Hishuki and I had designed together. At one point, he held my hand in this house filled with our beautiful memories, whispering he loved me, promising to be with me forever. Now, it all seemed like a joke. I was nothing more than his comfort when he was lonely, his tool when he needed something, and his companion when he was empty. Saying he loved me was just playing with me. I tore down all the sweet photos of us on the walls and threw them in the trash. I threw away all the gifts he gave me and packed only a few personal items into my suitcase. As I picked up the suitcase to leave, Hishuki suddenly blocked my way with a cold expression. Are you really planning to leave me? Ha, you, an orphan with nothing. Leave me and you'll have no job. Where else can you go? No need to worry, Hishuki. Even if I starve, I won't beg at your door. Please, move. Hishuki stopped me, pulling out a bank card and handing it to me. Since you're so determined to leave, I won't stop you. Here, 1 million. Consider it compensation for these 10 years. I couldn't help but laugh. Your mom gave me $1 million to leave you. Your fiancé gave me $1 million to leave you. Now it's your turn. It seems like the He family isn't as impressive as it looks. Only offering 1 million? Keep it. I'm not interested. I pushed the card back to him, and he sneered, shoving it back at me. At this point, don't pretend to be above it all. If you don't take this last million, you'll regret it. This is the last million you'll get from me. Slap. I took the card, broke it in front of him, and threw it back in his face. 1 million? That's less than my monthly allowance. Do you really think I care? I ignored his furious gaze and dialed a number. Dad, I'm done pretending. Let the He and Song families go bankrupt. I'm waiting. It's urgent. Hishuki was completely stunned. I hung up the phone, and he grabbed my wrist. Xie Shu Wan, what do you mean? Who did you just call? Aren't you supposed to be an orphan? Who's your dad? I shook off his hand, sneering. If I told you I'm the only daughter of the Xie family, the most mysterious family in Bincheng, would you believe me? That family with hundreds of years of history, whose head is rarely seen but controls the entire city's business fate. I know them. But how is that possible? I've never heard of a daughter from the Xie family. His eyes widened, unbelieving. Then he smiled. Fine, Xie Shu Wan, you really think I'm a 3-year-old? I've been in the business world for years. There's no way you can fool me. If you were really from the Xie family, the He family would probably be groveling to you. Yeah, you're not worthy. You've played with me for 10 years, but that's all you've got. Now, the He family's karma has run out. Next, you'll pay for your actions. Goodbye, Mr. He, and never again. Ignoring his astonished gaze, I turned and walked out. A Rolls-Royce pulled up next to me, the driver opening the door and respectfully bowing. Welcome home, miss. As I sat in the comfortable and steady Rolls-Royce, memories of my 10 years with Hishuki flooded back. Back then, I was the campus belle, and we were the perfect couple, me, the star player on the basketball team, and him. At that time, the He family was not wealthy, and Hishuki was just an ordinary college student. But even though I kept things low-key, my family always provided the best brands for me. This put an unspoken pressure on Hishuki. One night, after drinking, he cried and said he wanted to break up with me because he felt his family wasn't good enough for me, and that my family would never approve of us being together. At that time, I was completely in love with his tall and handsome figure. I immediately took off all my designer clothes and threw my designer bags into the trash, crying as I hugged him. I told him the brands were just cheap knockoffs from an online store. That I was just pretending to be a rich girl to save face. I even fabricated a lie, saying I was an orphan and had to rely on scholarships to get through college. I thought Hishuki would never believe such a poor performance. But to my surprise, he believed it completely. From then on, he became more and more confident in front of me, and I became his humble little lapdog. Later, the He family suddenly became wealthy overnight, and Hishuki became a well-known rich second-generation heir. I felt even more insignificant in front of him. Perhaps it was because I had pretended to be an impoverished orphan for so many years that I had completely entered this role. After graduation, Hishuki took over his family's company and became the CEO. At first, he wanted me to stay home as a full-time housewife, but after I insisted, he reluctantly let me work as his assistant. For 10 years, I helped him with his career at the company, and at night, I served him as a dutiful wife. He treated me well, buying me dresses, taking me all around the world, and giving me a black card to use. I thought we'd be happy forever, and I didn't care about being the Shie family's daughter. Now I realize I was completely wrong. Maybe at first, he really did love me. But when it came to interests, he didn't hesitate for a second to sacrifice me. He said things like the arranged marriage was something he couldn't refuse, and that it was all due to his parents' pressure. I, as a woman, once broke ties with my father for him. Pretended to be a poor, orphaned girl to stay by his side for 10 years. But he couldn't stand up to his parents and refuse the arranged marriage to marry me? He could have, but he wouldn't. In his eyes, the family's interests were far more important than the 10 years we spent together. Before entering the house, I wiped the cold tears from my face. My dad was sitting on the leather sofa with his legs crossed, leisurely smoking a cigar. Ever since I fought with my father 10 years ago over being with Hishuki, I haven't stepped into this house in 10 years. During this time, my dad called me countless times asking me to come back, but I refused. Later, when the He family rose to power and became a prominent family in Bincheng, my dad still said Hishuki was not good enough for me. I'm stubborn, so I fought with my dad. If he didn't acknowledge Hishuki as his son-in-law, I wouldn't come back home. But now, it's different. It's him who doesn't want to marry me. I walked timidly toward my dad's side, and when he saw me, he put down his cigar and gave me a reproachful look. Ha, now you know, huh? You didn't listen to your elders, and now look at the mess you're in? That one sentence hit me hard, and I broke down in tears. Rushing to my dad's lap. After crying enough, I wiped the tears off my face. Glaring at my dad in resentment. Did you do what I asked on the phone? Did you make the He and Song families go bankrupt right away? Ah, this girl, you really are in a hurry. The news has already been spread, but you still need to wait a few days. Actually, I know, with my dad's position, it would be incredibly easy for him to make the He and Song families go bankrupt. He doesn't even need to do much, just one word from him, and the whole of Bincheng would follow his lead. But my old man was more anxious for me to take over the Xie family's business. He said my mom died young, and he didn't have a son. So the Xie family's huge fortune had to rely on me. 10 years ago, I should have been learning how to manage the family business with him. Now, having wasted 10 years, no wonder he's anxious. The next day, news broke that the long-hidden Xie family daughter, Xie Mei, was returning to take charge of the Xie family business. And the story hit all the major headlines. To my surprise, instead of receiving congratulations or well wishes, the comments flooded with reports about how I used to be Hishuki's mistress. Shocking, the rumored Xie family eldest daughter returns, only to be revealed as Hishuki's mistress for 10 years. The Xie family daughter, who disrupted the He-Song marriage, is now going home to inherit billions. Such a girl with such low morals taking over the Xie family's business, it's hard to see how it can succeed. The uniformity of the new accounts and usernames in the comment section made me realize something. And I couldn't help but laugh. I knew this wasn't because they hated me, but because they were scared. Although my dad had already made his move, most of the partners of the He and Song families didn't know what to believe and were still waiting. But I didn't want to wait. After all, the He and Song families had been making my life miserable. So I couldn't just let it go, right? I immediately posted all the evidence of my relationship with Hishuki from college until now. I also posted the video where his mom, Song Man Ning, and Hishuki offered me $1 million to leave. In this day and age with surveillance everywhere, getting this information was easy. The internet exploded, and public opinion flipped completely. All the partners involved with the He and Song families immediately announced they were stopping all cooperation with them. Now, it was my turn to laugh. Hishuki, Miss Song, I'm waiting for you to come kneel and beg me. As expected, that very night, Hishuki called like his life depended on it. I deliberately watched the call bounce on my screen but didn't pick it up. After his 101st call, I finally picked up, calm as can be. Mr. He, what's the matter? Xie Shu Wan, are you crazy? Do you really want me to go bankrupt? I'm warning you, clear up those rumors online. We were in a relationship willingly, so why say I'm a scumbag? I laughed with delight. Why don't you ask the netizens? I'm busy right now, I don't have time to call you a scumbag. Oh, Mr. He, now that I'm the CEO of the Xie family, I suggest you speak with some respect. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up, okay? Don't hang up. Shu Wan, no, CEO Xie, I know I'm wrong, I admit it. The past 10 years, I've wronged you. But for the sake of the 10 years we had, please, ask your dad to say something, give my He family a way out. Please. Shuki's tone immediately softened. Finally realizing his place, I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. But Mr. He, how can I forget that back then you said in front of me you were going to marry Song Man Ning? And even had me help pick her wedding dress? At that time, when I expressed my grievances, you were so tough. Why should I let you off now just because you said so? Oh, by the way, your mom, your fiancé, and you, all wanted to buy me off with $1 million. And weren't you the one who didn't believe I was the Xie family's daughter? Now you believe me? You probably think $1 million is just my pocket change, huh? Get lost. I hung up the phone, and when he called again, I blocked him. After the call, I looked at the news about his stock crashing overnight, and the endless notifications about suppliers chasing after them for money, and felt genuinely pleased. For the first time, I realized just how important it is to hold the reins of your life. The past 10 years, I had completely neglected how I'd helped make Shuki successful, only to end up being played. How foolish I had been. 3 days later, his group's headquarters was shut down, and all employees were laid off. His group quickly went bankrupt, and Shuki disappeared without a trace. Meanwhile, the Song family, also severely affected, but barely surviving, released a statement. The statement directly announced the termination of the marriage with the He family, and that they would have no further dealings with them. Later that night, Song Man Ning's father, Song Jiansheng, personally came with her to apologize to me. Looking at Song Man Ning, once so arrogant in front of me, now standing in front of me with a swollen face and lowered gaze, I couldn't help but sneer. Miss Song, what happened to your face? Did your fiancé hit you? Song Jiansheng quickly smiled and said to me, how could this happen? We've already cut ties with the He family. This ungrateful daughter is the one I hit. Who told her to offend you? Miss Xie, Man Ning. Why don't you kneel down and apologize to Miss Xie? Though reluctant, Song Man Ning kneeled down before me under her father's threat. I'm sorry, Miss Xie, I really didn't know you were from the Xie family. If I'd known. Enough. Miss Song, I can't accept your apology. Once you've done something, you have to bear the consequences. Goodbye. I waved for the butler to escort them out, and the place finally quieted down. A month passed, and the He and Song families were completely bankrupt, disappearing from Bincheng. I was busy managing the Xie family business, leaving that dreadful experience behind. Just when I thought I would never see Shuki again, he blocked me in the parking lot after work, looking like a homeless man. I was startled by his disheveled appearance. What do you want? I warn you, if I scream, people will come and throw you in jail. Don't, Shu Wan, please don't scream, I mean no harm. I just want to talk to you. I stepped back, keeping a few meters of distance, and calmly looked at him. Say it, I know saying sorry now is meaningless. But Shu Wan, believe me, I really love you, even now. Can you give me another chance, for the sake of our 10 years together? I couldn't help but laugh. A chance? What chance? The chance to be played by you again? Shuki, I'm no longer that naive girl from 10 years ago. No, it's not like that. I don't believe you don't love me anymore. You told me your greatest wish was to walk down the aisle with me in the most beautiful wedding dress, right? Look, this is a wedding dress I spent a month designing myself. Let's forget everything that happened and start over, okay? I'll make you my most beautiful bride. I sighed, frowning slightly. The sour smell of Shuki disgusted me. Shuki, what's wrong with you? Do you think I haven't suffered enough because of you? Or do you think you, in this state, are worthy of me? Oh, I almost forgot. You were never worthy of me. No matter how much I loved you or how prestigious my family is. If it weren't for me being a lovesick fool back then, do you think I would have let you toy with me for 10 years? He Shuki stood frozen, full of regret and shame. Sorry, Shu Wan, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have wronged you. I was weak, selfish, and cold, for the sake of that little bit of interests from the Song family alliance. I never once thought about fighting for our happiness. Now I know I'm wrong. Shu Wan, I love you. I really can't live without you. Please, give me one more chance, and from now on, I'll be your loyal dog. I'll do whatever you want. I'll kneel down for you, if you want. He suddenly dropped to his knees, but before he could go any further, the bodyguards rushed over and pulled him up. I sighed. He Shuki, didn't I tell you? You're not even worthy of begging me? Just leave, I never want to see you again. Oh, by the way, I heard you're broke and being chased by debt collectors. Here, $1 million, get out of my sight. I mocked him as I took a bank card out of my bag and handed it to him. Just like he did to me. I thought he would refuse, being a former CEO and a man. But I was wrong. He clenched his teeth and grabbed the card. Although I know I have no face to take this money. I have no place to stay and haven't eaten for 2 days. So I'll take it, thanks. I smiled, full of disdain. You're thanking me too early. There's no money on that card. It's a blank card. If you're a man, earn it yourself. Spending a woman's money is nothing. Ah, Xie Shu Wan, you bitch. You played with me. You'll never get away with this. You, the bodyguards slapped him across the face repeatedly until he couldn't speak clearly. Before forcing him to kneel before me. He Shuki, now, you know what it's like to be played with. But you toyed with my love for 10 years. Get out. I don't ever want to see you again. Just as I turned to leave, I felt a cold breeze behind me. The next second, he Shuki rushed at me like a mad dog. And pressed a fruit knife against my throat. Don't come closer. Give me $1 million in cash. Or I'll slit her throat. But when the bodyguards took out the $1 million in cash, he Shuki's face turned grim and he changed his mind. Hey, I want the money, and your life too. No one dares to play with me. The sharp pain in my neck made me feel the danger of death. But in the next second, there was a dull thud. And a tall, muscular figure rushed in, punching he Shuki in the head. In an instant, he Shuki's eyes rolled back, and he passed out. The fruit knife fell to the ground with a clang. Jiyu Chengdong held me with deep concern. Shu Wan, are you okay? Are you hurt? I wiped the small cut on my neck and shook my head, burying my head in Jiyu Chengdong's broad chest. I'm fine, just a minor scratch. A month later, he Shuki was sentenced to life imprisonment for robbery and attempted murder, and would spend the rest of his life in a sewing machine factory. 6 months later, I married Jiyu Chengdong, the son of the Xie family's old friend who had returned from abroad to continue the family business. I never knew that the shy, quiet Jiyu Chengdong from childhood would grow up to spoil me like a princess. Finally, I found the happiness I deserve,